I suspect my mom and my brother are having sex in secret for months now. I don't know if I'm insane, paranoid, or if something is really up. What I'm about to tell you is not fiction. It is extremely embarrassing to even type all of this here, which is why I'm writing it on a throwaway account. For those who think I'm making up the story I'm about to tell you, I get it. I am aware it does sound insane. I don't care if you don't believe me, but please tell me what you would do if you were in my situation. Please read everything before you reply to this thread. I'm 17 and I live in Western Europe. I live with my mom, my older brother, and my stepfather. My brother is 19 and is studying at university. He hasn't left the house since it's close to the university. My mother is a housewife and my stepfather works in a company in the next town. Over the last 6 to 8 months, maybe a bit more, I am not sure, I've noticed that my mother and brother have been acting unusually. Well, not exactly weird, but rather out of character. For example, I noticed that my brother would help out our mom with the cooking, but only when our dad was at work, something he had never done before, regardless of whether my stepdad was around or not. One time I barged into the kitchen and it looked like they were in the middle of something. There was an awkward silence too. This may sound strange, but I didn't suspect a thing at the time. The idea of my older brother and my mother having an inappropriate relationship didn't cross my mind back then. Another example. When our father was at work, my mother and brother would sometimes drive somewhere and return 1 or 2 hours later. I remember once asking my mom where they'd gone, and she told me they had gone shopping. When I asked what they had bought, she said they hadn't bought anything because the shop was closed, which was completely untrue. Another time, I asked why they hadn't taken me along on their trip, and my mom said she didn't think I'd enjoy going with them to see the nearby lake, which was totally true, to be fair. There were other similar incidents like that. Again, all of this started happening recently, about 6 months to a year ago. None of these clues made me suspicious back then. However, what did alert me was something that happened a few months ago. It was a typical Wednesday. My dad was at work, I had finished school early, as I do every Wednesday, and I noticed that my brother was home early too since his shoes were placed in the hallway and his backpack was in the living room. I was looking for my mother but couldn't find her anywhere until I got near the bathroom. I could hear the water running along with other strange noises. I still wasn't 100% sure what those noises were, but it sounded like someone was tapping on the shower's glass window while breathing heavily. It sounded more like someone was having trouble repairing something than anything else. At that point, I wasn't freaking out, yet. What troubled me was that they both came out of the bathroom at separate times, and my mom lied to me about it. She wasn't aware that I saw my brother leave the bathroom after her. She told me he had been in the garden, but I knew that was just a lie. That's exactly when I started to freak out in my mind. The other major event that confirmed my fears happened about 3 months ago. I was supposed to stay at a friend's house for the weekend because we had a school trip and were planning to leave together. However, I got sick the day before and couldn't go, so I ended up going back home instead. I returned early that morning. Apparently, my brother didn't have any classes until the afternoon, and my father had already left for work. Again, I knew my brother was home, but I couldn't find him. Everything started to make sense when I approached my parents' bedroom and heard strange noises again. I was 100% certain she was having an affair with someone. I could hear faint moaning and clapping sounds. When I tried to open the locked door, all the noise stopped immediately, and my mom came out sometime later. She seemed a little upset that I hadn't called to tell her about the change of plans. When I peeked inside the room, I didn't see anyone. However, about 10 minutes later, I'm almost certain I saw my brother come out of that same room. He didn't come out until they thought I was gone. In reality, I was hiding in the guest room at the end of the hallway and could see the hallway through the keyhole in the door. I couldn't clearly see his face since he sprinted out as soon as the door opened. I came out shortly after and went to the living room. And miraculously, he was there this time. What a coincidence, right? As of today, I still cannot confirm whether they have a sexual relationship or not since I have not caught them in the act. At best, I am just insane and paranoid. At worst, she is cheating on my stepdad with her own son. I don't know what to do, guys. I don't want to ask any of them about it either. It is extremely embarrassing, and I feel like it would ruin the family if I even bring that up to any of them. My mom is 36 or 37, and I don't know how badly me learning the truth can impact her. I internally feel disgusted looking at them sometimes, but thinking there's even 1% chance I am wrong makes it easier for me to move on with my life. I don't know if I should just look the other way or not. What would you guys recommend me to do?